Hi, friends, and welcome to the channel. This is a podcast where I enjoy sharing my insights. And today, the meditation is Loneliness is the Way Home. Apparently, loneliness is a pandemic, and it's doing detrimental things to our health. It might be the same as smoking 15 cigarettes a day or something like that. I don't know what the statistic is. But I see this pandemic of loneliness as a good sign. And the breakthrough is not more company, more medication, more videos. The breakthrough is learning how to be comfortable in your own presence. So stick around and hopefully you're on that threshold of breakthrough. And this is exactly what you need to hear. Stick around. There may have to be a lot of living before there is new life. And you'll understand this as you mature. But I would encourage you to go back as far as you can into your recorded history. Not just what you remember, but to view pictures of yourself, videos, not of you putting on a show. If you can find honest expressions of yourself. You will see what I'm talking about. I recently came across some video of myself at 20. I'm 50 now. And I saw in myself for the first time an individual that I would have wanted to be around. This is weird. Because spiritual revelation is like a detachment from this judgy, shadowy, dictating entity that holds oneself in contempt. I can't go back to the way I believed about myself. I have to be able to go up and see myself as if that's not me. And I looked so very different when I was 19 and 18. Full head of hair. But that was me. And I saw a performance that I gave in college. And I had to go back in time and apologize for not being there. You see, I just wasn't a fan. I wasn't present enough to be there for myself. I was not self-realized. Who I thought I was someone who needed great improvement, who needed to be, all of my quirkiness and individualism and distinguishing features need to be erased. The things that made me different, all my fuck-ups and screw-ups, and all, I had to strip all that out of my life. Well, that leads to great loneliness. It leads to an emptiness Because there's that shadowy presence, which is very cloaked, very hidden, that's nagging you. And it's you. That's the hard part. It's hard to see that we are abusing ourselves. We are judging ourselves. We are holding ourselves in contempt for something we can't help. You are irrevocably yourself when you're laughing. Deeply present. And with close friends, friends that you can let your guard down. When you can let your guard down, or when you feel like your guard can be let down, you are there for yourself. Because the inhibition is just like gone. And when the inhibition is gone, the inhabitant is there. Your presence, that's the inhabitant. The inhibition is the guard coming back up. And the guard is you, the critic, the judge. That part of you that admires other people for their individuality and their quirkiness and their charisma and their charm, which is like the squiggly lines in the grain of wood, or the veins in marble, or your goofy personality of your dog. You know, this dog here, she's so goofy, runs into walls, gets the zoomies every once in a while. But I overlook that because that's what makes her goofy, stinky, slobbery faults are endearing. And I love her. And you have to be able to see yourself that way. And sometimes a life review helps, especially if you're older. So what you have to do is take a little sentimental journey and see that youthful innocence in your eyes. And so you see yourself laughing and letting yourself be who you are without judging that. And if you don't pay attention to that shadowy, cloaked figure, often called the ego or the mind or whatever it is, you will blame it on society or your older brothers who called you names, or your teachers who told you were no good, or you will find ways to blame others for the things you believe about yourself. That's because children do not know and understand that people telling you who you are doesn't define you. And we go around with these sort of cloaked, dark beliefs. So spending time alone is like spending time with a bully. Who wants to spend time with a bully? Who wants to spend time with a nag? who wants to spend time with this imaginary figure who's pointing their finger at you, calling you names, making you feel outcast, making you feel you're not worthy of anything. And so what you're going to try to do is put your guard up and strip out all of your charisma. Try to straighten out your pug nose. Try to make your big ears smaller. Put a toupee on. And show up in the world as a fraud. And you'll hate the fraud. You see? You'll hate that part of you that's not even being honest. See, to strip out your truth like that, to strip out your irreducible nature, is to be something called a perfectionist. Never let them see you sweat. Don't make any mistakes. Be perfect. Jesus said, "Be ye perfect as my Father in heaven is perfect." And what he meant by that is be perfect like a tree. And if you split a tree open, you see all the squiggly, the grain is all aesthetically perfect, but it's got flaws. It's a distinguishable feature. Something that can be judged. The universe and nature can be judged. You just judge it. But in its right, it's beautiful. And it's what allows us to see beauty is ugliness, as it says in the Tao. What allows us to see our truth is the untruth. But you can learn to love those charming features in the same way that you admire and love people who can do amazing things. You know, when I go back and look at my 20-year-old self and I see some of those moments where I'm with my best friend, who I still am friends with, I saw that we were just in our own little world. And this smile was mine, and it was so charming. Who was that kid who could do all that? Who could play music and be himself? Well, it took me 30 years to fall in love with my 20-year-old self. To heal my inner child, to be a fan of what I could do. Not in a narcissistic way, in a private way. Narcissism is always saying, look at me, look at me, look at me, look at me. The private love affair of who you are is intimate. First, it starts off with a truce. You may not be able to love yourself, but you can call a truce with yourself. I'm going to stop abusing myself. I'm going to stop singling myself out as some kind of outcast because I have these so-called flaws. If you can't call a truce with yourself, at least tolerate it. Then call a truce. Then work on befriending. Maybe you're not your cup of tea, that's the thing. Our presence, your presence may not be your cup of tea, but I think it is. Your best company, if you can't be alone, is to learn to keep company with yourself. Be quiet. I have a video I made several months ago. It's called Stop Disturbing the Wildlife. Stop disturbing yourself. That's the first step to awakening to the presence within, is to stop nagging. Worry is nag. Judging is nag. Stretching your mind into the future and living there all the time is not the practice of the presence of God. Our presence, our being present. It's some kind of thing called absence, which isn't even real. You're absent for yourself if you're constantly having to be around people. Loneliness is the epitome or the height of this judgy, shadowy, cloaky figure that you are, thinking the voices in my head are somebody else. Society expects me of this, or your mother saying no to you. It's all you. I wasn't there for myself when I was 20. I was unrealized. I didn't see the potential in my 20-year-old self, the beauty, the innocence. And so what I did is I went back in time and I got in line to say congratulations. And to say I'm sorry. I want you to go back into your teen life, your early adulthood, and apologize to yourself. Heal the inner child. And start looking at yourself as if you are your own child. And you would overlook every deficiency, every wrongdoing. You would forgive them. And encourage them. And no matter how old you are, you can forgive yourself and encourage yourself and know yourself to be more than you've called yourself. Foolish, stupid, incapable. That's not a good parent. Loneliness is the failure to realize that self and other are together. And right now in you, this self and other are at odds. You have not recognized your person. Your presence, your distinguishable features are also part of that. But that's charming. That's why people love you. People love you for your quirkiness. In the same way we love the trees for being crooked and our dogs for being goofy. It's time to overlook it and accept these so-called imperfections as the perfection of creation itself. The creator and the creature are the same. And you can feel the presence of the company you keep. And running away from it doesn't help. Sit with yourself like you'd sit by the bedside of a dying child. You need yourself. You don't need other people. The one who is needing company is that which keeps company. And your company is here, now. Comforting. And the parent in you will take over. And say, I'll take care of it. You're fine. And the child in you will follow. And your heart's desires will be taken care of. If you learn to stop abusing yourself and to be there for yourself. And the road to that is loneliness, because at first it's brutal. Because the sense of self and other are polarizing. So much so you can't stand it. And the road home is keeping better company. Quietly detecting your own presence. The presence that has been with you and can never leave you. Your presence. The one and only presence there is. In communion with your individual nature. And then there's comfort. Then there's healing. And then there's union. My brothers and sisters out there listening, your parent is here. You. The prodigal comes home. Loneliness comes to an end. And love renews. And this union of father and son, parent and child, teacher and student, self and other, me and you, I and myself, both within and without. The enemy, the outcast, the weirdo. No more names. No more name calling. You've come home. And loneliness is the beginning of it. And it's a lone path. But the union comes full circle in love. My name is Ryan Abair. I hope you enjoyed these insights. Thank you for joining me today. My blog is mymorningmotivator.com. Thank you.